Hi, this is Carolina, the Soul Coach. Welcome to my podcast. Hello and welcome to this week's Sunday Catchup podcast. How are you and how has your week been? I hope it's been a good one. And what have you been doing? What have you been up to? Let's just take a moment to reflect on your week. Anything stand out? Did you have an adventure? Was it just quite flat? Were you challenged in some way? We have had a good week. It has been a little bit challenging, but not too much. But I would say, do you remember last week I talked about the Northern Star and how Will and I's Northern Star is adventure? And we've had quite an adventurous week too. So the little challenge is, as you can hear probably in my voice, I have had a sore throat and that transitioned into a cold. It's been okay, hasn't knocked me out, but it's just been niggling and a constant runny nose. It's been horrid. But has it stopped me from doing what I want to do? No, it hasn't. But my energy levels are definitely a little low. I think coming back from Bali, having a little procedure last week, then having the cold, it's no wonder. And I couldn't get to see my acupuncturist this week, but I am going Tuesday and I know that will help. And I've been giving myself Reiki, especially because I want to heal my body, having had that little procedure. So I know my energy is running a little low, but that's okay and it will get better. So as I shared last week, we went to Portsmouth last week and we had a fab time. It was really nice just to have a night away. And you might have seen on my social media, I shared with you where we stayed. And it was really interesting because it was so clean, this place that we stayed on Airbnb. And it was full of stairs. There was 2 levels of stairs, which was fine. There was no problem with that. But you could tell as soon as you went into this home, it was cluttered. There was a lot of clutter. There were so many mirrors on the and pictures on the as you go up the stairs on the walls. And then when we got into the flat where we were staying, it was just really cluttered. Now, it might not be someone else's clutter because it was full of memorabilia. There was stuff, just so much stuff, and every like shelf space was filled with something. There wasn't any shelf space because it was full of things. And obviously, for some people, it wouldn't have been cluttered, but for me, it felt really cluttered. It felt quite overwhelming, actually, because there was so much to see and there was so much in every place. It was quite thoughtful of what they'd done, but I'm talking a considerable amount of clutter. And I know people find comfort in that, some people, but for me, it just doesn't match my vibe. And I really struggled to sleep that night. And that was quite a challenge as well, because I do like my sleep and I don't like being deprived of my sleep. So I really didn't like that. And I just felt it was quite claustrophobic. And I believe that clutter, there's no like movement, there's no freedom, the energy can't move, it kind of stays a little bit stale. So yeah, really grateful that it was very, very spotlessly clean. Really grateful for that, and really grateful for where it was positioned. But it's really interesting, this whole clutter thing, especially as last week was clutter clearing on the Feng Shui February. So it was very interesting. What was really great about that day is that it was a very magical day, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. But we had the best Sunday lunch. There was a pub just down the road, and by the time we got there, because we took our time going down, and I'll share with you why in a minute, but we went to this pub and it was an amazing pub. It was really quite quaint. This lovely lady was there. Her daughter was at the bar, obviously. Mum and Dad own this pub, and you couldn't mistake that it was her daughter, who must have been about 8 or 9, beautiful red hair. Anyway, it was a family business, quite busy. And we said, we really would love 2 of your Sunday roasts, because they were advertising it. And she said, I'm really sorry. She said, but we've sold out. At that moment, her husband, the chef, came through, and he said, well, just wait a minute. Anyway, he came back after a couple of minutes. He said, look, we can do this. We've got the meat, we've got vegetables, we don't have Yorkshire puddings, and we only have 1 or 2 potatoes. Well, Will and I haven't really been eating much carbs. And we were like, yeah, that's fine. That would suit us absolutely grand. That 25 minutes later, oh my goodness me. I tell you, it was one of the nicest roast dinners that we have had out. And he was so embarrassed by it. He said, I'm really sorry, I've given you some Yorkshire puddings, but the ones that we give the children. He said, and I managed to put some roast potatoes, and or whatever. He said, but I will charge you less. Anyway, it was the nicest roast dinner that we had. It was delicious, and we can't wait to go back. But the funny thing is, will it be as good the next time? Because there was kind of like it was quite quaint the way it happened, and it was just really great, really great. And of course, we did not accept that discount because we had the best meal. And it was a really lovely pub in Old Portsmouth. So yeah, that was really lovely. So that was amazing. And the magical bit is that, so Will and I have been thinking about getting a car for quite some time. So our BMW that we have, we love. And there's a magical story about how we got that, which I think I've shared in a previous podcast, but I'm going to share that with you now because it's such a beautiful story. So I don't know what to do first. Shall I do this story? Shall I do that old story? No, I'm going to just sort of fill you in. So we've been wanting to upgrade our car and downsize because we want to do more travelling. We want to go to Europe and everything else. We wanted to downsize. So we looked at a couple of cars the previous week, but we didn't really like the quality as much as what we're used to with the BMW, because they are very sturdy and very nice, and we like it. And I'm going to share the magical story about that in a minute. But so we've been sort of talking about this, umming and ahhing, but we love our car. We love our car. And so we've been really reluctant about doing it. But when we were away in Bali, one of the things we reflected on is that we definitely need to upgrade the car. We were, for various different reasons. It's diesel, it's hasn't got CarPlay. We wanted some of the new kind of gadgets on it. So there's a garage that we pass on the A3 or whenever we go to Portsmouth, because we go to Portsmouth quite a lot, and it's a BMW garage. So we looked it up, and they had the car that we wanted, which was a downsize from the one we've got, and it was white and it looked really, really nice. So we thought, oh well, we're going down to Portsmouth for our meeting with Alistair. We will pop into the garage and we will have a look. So we arranged it all, went to see it, fell in love with it. It was a beautiful car. It was so nice. He'd bought it inside, he'd polished it up, cleaned it all up, and it was really nice. And we, on the way down, were going like Harriet with her wedding dress. No, we're not going to buy a car. We're just going to go and have a look and see if we like the car and everything else. And then it was like a game changer because this car was really lovely. So he went off to do something, I can't remember what it was. And then Will noticed that when he opened the boot and closed it again, the paintwork was a bit rough and didn't feel, and I could hear it with him rubbing it, it didn't feel right. So basically the car had been in a shunt and they tried to repair it, whoever had tried to repair it. But then he noticed on the wheel arch it had started to rust. And this car was 2023. Anyway, it wasn't meant to be. We were like not attached to the car. We were just going down to have a look. But seeing as that we believe in following the breadcrumbs, and that life, when you want to manifest, life will show you and give you guideposts to where to go, and then you have to get into inspired action. So we'd kind of got into the inspired action because we went to that garage that we'd spotted all the time. We knew the car that we wanted and they had the car we wanted. And we'd managed to get an appointment at the time that we wanted to go down. So everything was kind of lining up for us, but that wasn't the car for us. And we were like, oh, well, okay, at least we know that is the car that we want. And we left. The previous week when we looked at different models, not of a BMW, but other models, we realised that we quite liked the grey. I really liked a grey colour. Anyway, just put that there. So off we went down to Portsmouth to have our meeting with Alistair, who's our tech guy, the next day, and to go and get some lunch and to check into our Airbnb. And that was that. So hang that for a minute. Hang that for a minute. So let's back up, okay? So let's back up to when we first bought our car. So this was a good few years ago, before COVID. I can't remember how many years we've had the car. Have we had it 10 years? I can't remember. It doesn't matter, but we've had it a good few years. And we were going to Ireland. So I'm going to share this magical story with you, and then I'll come back to my story. So we were going to Ireland. Now, just before we went to Ireland, I space cleared someone's home. Now, this home had a lot of energy that needed clearing. Something had happened in one of the bedrooms, and it was really very dark and difficult energy in this particular room of this house. Well, there was two things that were wrong with this particular house that needed sorting, but the main thing that I want to focus on now for part of the story is the bedroom. And I can tell the story of the other thing another time. But in this bedroom, they had this energy in there, and something had happened in this bedroom and it wasn't pleasant and it needed clearing. And their dog was a beautiful Cocker Spaniel, black, and her name is Sooty. And Sooty would not go in this room. She would just lay down in the on the landing and just stare into the room. She would not go in there at all. And very interesting that animals can just pick up and sense this energy. And so I set about clearing it. Now, I was very drawn to go into this kind of walk-in cupboard. And this is an interesting story in itself. You know, never mind about how this links to our car, but it does. So I sat in this walk-in cupboard, and Sooty, the dog, the beautiful dog that I loved so much, she was adorable and still is adorable, although she's getting on a bit, but aren't we all? She came and sat next to me. She came in the room and actually sat next to me in this walk-in cupboard where I cleared this room. She didn't leave my side, and it was amazing clearing this space, this bedroom. Obviously I'd cleared the rest of the house, but this is where the problem was. And she sat with me all the time, and there was just such a bond between me and this dog, and the clearing the room and everything else. Anyway, Sooty and I managed to clear the room, and it was great, and it felt so much better. And I was very grateful. And Sooty used to go in there afterwards, so I know it was clear, and she was very happy, and the people who owned the house were happy, and everything else. So that was great. Next day we were going to Ireland, and we have been a few times, and there's always a problem at the Dublin airport for hiring cars, because you couldn't get a car at the terminal. You would have to get a bus, and then you would go to a big building, and then you'd have to wait hours to get your car. And so we wanted to avoid that. So we found a company that said that you could pick the car up at the terminal. And we thought, we just want to go and see my dad. We just want to get there. We will do that. And so we get there. And of course, there is a reception at the terminal. And guess what? You have to bus it to this building. So of course, we weren't very happy because that's not what they said online. But anyway, we got to this terminal, we got to this building and there was a queue and it was chaos. So you can imagine that we've just travelled, we wanted to avoid it, so our stress levels are starting to rise. And there was no queuing. There's no queuing formula at all. So we went and had a word and they said, you will be called up. And after about half an hour, then Will prods me. He loads me and then I go and do it. So I'd been up a couple of times and he never really does that kind of thing. I just kind of deal with it. But then Will had enough and went up and said something, and then it went on and on and on. So in the end, Will went up second time and he was not happy. He was raging by this time. It was just really difficult. And when we go away, we just hire a tiny little car, little car, little 2-door car, nothing fancy, cheap as cheap, just get us from A to B and it's fine. And he went up just about to go full pelt. I think he might have gone full pelt, and then was like, the guy reached over and picked up the keys and said, I have your keys here, which Will then went like, we've been waiting all this time, da 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 da. He could have gone in there, but then he noticed that the key fob was a BMW and we hadn't ordered a BMW. And he said, because you've been waiting so long, we're really sorry, because there was something really funny because there was no queuing system and they were just calling people out, and then this woman just went next. And we were like, right. And that's what triggered Will to go up for the last time. Anyway, he spotted that this guy had picked up a BMW key and he was like, So then the guy said, because of that, we've upgraded you. Anyway, phew. We then got the keys to a BMW hire car and we loved it. Loved it so much. We called it Sooty and we just loved it. And we had a ball that trip, an absolute ball. And it was amazing. And we hadn't driven such a really nice car for such a long time. And it was just absolutely amazing. And so when we got home, we decided that we wanted to upgrade our car. This was about 10 years ago, to one of these BMW cars, 5 Series cars. And we looked up a local garage and they had the 5 Series BMWs and we went to test drive one. And while we were test driving this, we said, well, this is okay, but what we really want is this, and this. And he said, well, actually, I've got one on the forecourt. And it was exactly what we wanted. It was a blue-black colour and it was beautiful and it was amazing, and we purchased it. And up until that point, we hadn't even thought about getting a new car, really. It was only because we had this beautiful black car. We called it City. We had an amazing time. And then we got this BMW. And it was a big purchase for us at the time. And we've loved it. I mean, we have loved our BMW. And we really were in two minds whether to let it go or not. But because it was such an awesome kind of story around that car, that old car that we had, we really didn't want to let it go, as you can imagine. And yeah, we've had some great times. We went to Scotland in it. We've done some good tours in it. We've just loved it. And I Will drives usually, and I have my office just there in the passenger seat, and yeah, it's great. I make loads of calls, do my office work while he's driving, or as you know, you might have seen on some of my social medias, I have a kip in the back, and Will sets up a little duvet for me, and it's great fun. Anyway, so oh my goodness me, what a story. So let's just spring back to now. So we've gone back to we've had lunch, we've gone back to the Airbnb, and Will starts searching for a car that we have seen and that we want. And of course, there are cars all over the country, but he spots one and one comes up in Portsmouth. Yes. And the next day, after our meeting with Alistair, which we were discussing about what's coming up for this year, and oh my goodness me, there's so much amazing stuff coming up for 2025. I'm super excited. I can't wait to share it with you. But I couldn't believe it that there was a BMW car that we wanted in Portsmouth itself. Now that could have been anywhere, but it just happened to be in Portsmouth. So we went along, and there was a beautiful car there with a beautiful colour. It was just destined to be, and magically we manifested the car that we wanted, and we purchased it, and we did it. Big breath in, because it's always a big purchase, always like, but we manifested the car, we did it, we upgraded it, and we drove it home, and we haven't driven it since. It's been sitting there, and we've just been looking at it, and we're loving it, but we just haven't had the opportunity to drive it. We're driving our old Fiat into work, and when you get a new car, you don't want to take it out and about, but we'll get used to it. I haven't driven it yet, but I will. But how magical is that? Magical in the first place, magical old story, and now magical new story. And I just love that process of manifestation. It's amazing. And of course we were like ready, and it happened so fast and so quickly, and we couldn't be happier. It was a newer model than the one we looked at on Sunday, and it's fantastic. That was that. So what else happened? So on that Sunday, there is we go down to Old Portsmouth quite a lot, and it's just such a nice vibe there. It's a really easy, nice vibe. But the people that we generally stay with have gone away, so we couldn't stay at their house. But they have a pub, and this pub is very different. It's got so much history around it, and one of the Buster Crab, I think his name is, one of the people that stayed there, because it used to be a hotel in this pub years ago, back in, I don't know when it was, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, don't know, 60s maybe. Some guy went missing while diving, and it's a famous spy story about this Buster Crab guy. Anyway, Ian Fleming was inspired by this amazing story, and that's where James Bond was born. And there's so much history in this pub, and it's just so quintessential, and it's just amazing, and we love going there, and we'll go traditionally there. I generally have a glass of Prosecco, when we'll have a red wine, and this time we played Crib, which we love. It's an amazing card game, and we just love it, and it keeps our brain going, and it's just such a cool game. And so we went there in the late evening, and there was a magician there called Dino. And have you ever seen close-up magic? Honestly, it's so magical. He rolled his sleeves up, he was doing no sleeve magic, and he was doing a coin trick, and he was transferring the coins from one hand to another in front of us, and we have no idea how he did it. I was looking beyond to see if I could work out what he was doing, but he was doing it so sleight of hand, so quickly, it was true magic. It was amazing. And then he got me to hold the coins, and he transferred the coins into my hand. Honestly, it was amazing. And then he did this card trick where to do with aces, and how he managed, I had aces in my hand, and there were two black aces in my hand, and they turned to red aces. And of course he would have done that even before he started, but we never saw a thing. And it was just magical, and he was such a great entertainer. He was a really good storyteller, and it was just really interesting. It was really good fun, and we didn't know it was going to be happening, and we loved it so much. And I'm really all about the magic, but the magic of that was magical. But the magical, I just love the magic of the universe. I love how our brain can't even work out the magic. Our brain can't can't fathom the universe, and we just don't know what's out there. We just don't know all that we could possibly know for that magic to happen. But I know that if we follow the steps, if we follow the process and we're present, magic can happen everywhere. And the universal's magical, amazing doings, whispers is awesome, is absolutely awesome. So yeah, that was just incredible, and we loved it. So that really has been our week, apart from working really hard and having fun and completing Feng Shui February. And of course it was Love Week, wasn't it? It was all about the love this week. We had Valentine's Day, and people, it just reminds us about self-love and cherishing those ones that we hold dear, whether it's a partner, whether it's children or just loved ones. It's just all about the love. So I love it when that vibration of love, even though it's commercial, I know it is, but it still raises that love vibration, doesn't it? And it's just amazing. So I hope that you got to think about love in your life and love for yourself, and cherishing those moments. And Will cooked us a lovely dinner last night, and we enjoyed that. And we shared Will got me a lovely card, and I wrote one of my I Love You Soul Coach postcards. So that was nice. And yeah, just cherishing our two daughters, and they're having a ball. So yeah, it was a good week. A little bit challenging, but only from a health point of view. But other than that, all was amazing. So yeah, I hope you had a good one. I hope you enjoyed the magical stories I've shared this week. And don't forget to look up Feng Shui February. On YouTube, I've been releasing some meditations and some YouTube tips and stuff. Feng Shui tips. And next week is all about setting the vibe. So we've clutter cleared, we've got a neutral space now, and now it's all about bringing in the vibe that you want. And then the following week is all about Feng Shui and placements and things. But don't worry, if you've missed it, then you can always go back, because it's there. It's on the social media, it's on YouTube. But if you do look on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and then you'll get everything up to date. And putting a lot of content out there right now to help us all live a magical life. So, and also the other thing I've been meaning to say as well, I've really been enjoying the gratitude journal on the app, the Soul Space app. I've really been writing everything down that I've been grateful for every day for that app. And it's just so nice to reflect on it, because it builds up over time. And that's been great. And when things have got a little bit stressful, I've been using the breathing app as well, because they're just nice little reminders, and that's what I think we need. And I think that it's all really well and good when we meet with like-minded people, we're within that kind of vibe, when we go on a course or we have a therapy session. And we're reminded of that, but then we forget, don't we, because of everyday lives. And that's why I created the app for us to have those daily reminders, those daily affirmations, and to have access to meditations. So that's cool. So please give us a follow on subscribe on YouTube, and give us a follow on social media, and do shout out. I love to hear your stories, and sending you lots and lots and lots of love this week. Hope you have a really great week, manifesting what you want to manifest in your life, and know that you can manifest what you want to manifest. And if you've missed my January manifestation month, again, you can look back at social media, and you can look back at YouTube. Anyway, there we go. Manifest. We are manifesting. Anyway, we've talked about that so much in the podcast, but we're manifesting all the time, so we might as well manifest what we want to manifest in our lives. So taking a breath. I don't think I actually breathed through that entire whole podcast. Oh dear. Eckhart Tolle says one breath, one conscious breath a day is all we need to bring us back into presence. So take another breath now. Just knowing all is well. It doesn't matter what you want to manifest, big or small. Know it's already manifesting because you've thought of it. Imagine yourself under a beautiful, white, healing, sparkly energy shower right now. Just as you shower in the morning or the evening, just imagine as that water cascades down you in a shower in the morning or the evening, just imagine you now in your mind's eye being showered by beautiful, sparkly energy. Just clearing your aura, clearing out anything that's in the way, that's not serving you, to leave you feeling centered, calm, grounded, reassured, knowing that you're loved. All is well in this moment. You have everything that you need. And if you remember that story I shared when I was in Bali about the guy on the mountain and the guide saying to him, Sir, you need to look at this beautiful mountain you're already standing on. Look at what you're already standing on in your life and being grateful for that. Breathing in, breathing out. Have a beautiful week, and I look forward to chatting with you next week. Take care, lots of love, bye.